Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Christmas Day. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, and yourself?
Very, very good. I got everything I wanted because you're here. So I unwrapped Heidi this morning, and it was awesome. Hey, we've got a special guest on the program today, and I know what you're thinking. Who in the world would you guys have on Christmas Day? I have a guy. The reason I'm having him on today is because he's going to be on Shark Tank again this weekend, but I love the show Shark Tank, and there was a program from like October that I watched, and the company's called Rent Like a Champion. They're going to actually be featured again. They have a special showing this weekend, so we're going to be chatting with him. He's agreed to chat with us on Christmas Day, so that's pretty darn cool. We'll tell you all about that in just a bit. Hey, do you know why the Christmas shopping season starts so early, Heidi? You know who to blame it on?
Oh, no.
Blame it on the military. True story. Christmas shopping season starts early because during World War II, it was necessary for Americans to mail Christmas gifts to the troops in Europe about a month and a half in advance, so they get there on time.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Merchants joined in the effort to say, hey, here we're going to have your stuff ready. Here's your Christmas stuff. And they just never stopped once the mail started going quicker and, other things were invented.
But it gets early and earlier every year now, so what do you blame that on? That's not the fault of the military.
Hey, so next time you're complaining about Christmas lasting too long, just know that you're complaining about our troops there, so quit doing that. See?
That's not the case anymore.
Am I guilting people now? All right, coming up, we got some special things going on today. I wonder what it is. We'll tell you all about it in a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
You know what today is. It's Christmas Day, of course. But in addition to that, on Friday, December the 25th, it's also Alphabet Day. You know what that means?
I have no idea what that means.
It's the word alphabet without the L because it's no L day today. Alphabet Day.
Oh, no
L. No L.
Did you make that up, or does
No,
somebody
I did
else
not.
have a dumb sense of humor like
Apparently somebody else has a dumb sense of humor like me. Also, Christmas Pudding Day today and National Pumpkin Pie Day, which is kind of shocking. You'd think National Pumpkin Pie Day would fall
Should be
on
closer to
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
But
yeah.
it is today. So get out there and celebrate. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, there are still other things to celebrate today as well. So Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate that. And thanks for joining us on a Friday for everybody else. Coming up, we've got what people really want for Christmas. We've got the scoop coming your way in a bit from IKEA. That's on the way on this special holiday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. What do your kids really want for Christmas, Heidi? IKEA did a study. You like IKEA.
I love IKEA.
It's kind of fun. We don't have one right here where we live, but we've driven over to see the big IKEA stores, and it is kind of neat to go in and check
the
those
furniture
out.
is garbage, but the store is
Well,
amazing.
You'll buy something, and then I have to put it together, and I'm like, these are written in Swedish. What the? Anyway, a study from IKEA found some interesting things. They say they brought kids in and asked them to write a list of things you want from Santa. On the pages, there were things like toys and games. Then the researcher said, okay, now I want you to write a second letter addressed to your mom and dad and ask from what you'd like from mom and dad. And it was a completely different list. They asked mom and dad for things like, I would like you to play cowboy with me. I would like us to be together for one whole day.
Aww.
I would like us to have dinner more often. It says completely gone were the requests for toys and other things. For mom and dad, what they wanted most was time. How sad is that?
How sad is it that nobody wants to spend time with Santa?
That's not what I meant.
That's not where you were going?
No. Santa, I just want to go to the park with you. Come on, Santa. Why can't we have one meal together without you looking at your phone, Santa? No, that's not where we're going. No, what I think is interesting is I think if we asked our kids, would you like to spend more time with us, they'd both say no. Would you get out of here? Get out of my room. What are you doing in here? Quit asking me creepy questions, Dad. So I think it is sad, though, that's what it is. And it's an interesting thing. I never really thought of that, but thank you, IKEA, for uncovering the mystery of what kids really want for Christmas. And everybody can afford that. It doesn't cost you a nickel. All it's going to cost you is a little bit of time. Spend some time with your kiddos at this Christmas season. Coming up, we've got some fun things to share on this holiday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Now, I honestly have no clue if there's any booze or drugs involved in this story, but I'm assuming that's probably where this all started.
Okay.
2 years ago at Christmas time, Lorraine Coftry of Spencerville, Ontario, had one of her favorite Christmas decorations stolen. It was a wooden reindeer. She had it out on her front porch, and believe it or not, 2 full years later, it magically appeared in the very spot that it was stolen from about a week ago. And that's not all that was there. Along with the little wooden reindeer came a note of apology from the thief. The Christmas spirit apparently got to them. I think that this is probably a case of some people that were drinking and partying and they decided to do something silly, and then they were like, you know what, why did we take this? Now we got to store this reindeer. Let's take it back. I don't know what else it could be, but I think it's really neat that she got her reindeer back, don't you?
That's neat.
That's awesome. And coming up, we've got your moment of duh. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Who would steal from a homeless man?
What would you steal from a homeless
his Christmas tree is what they've been stealing. Not once, but twice. Homeless man in New Orleans now is feeling quite Christmassy, and he's in the holiday spirit when some people from the community replaced his tree. It started with a simple Christmas tree underneath an expressway in New Orleans. Philly, a homeless man, set up a Christmas tree by his blue tent underneath the expressway. Good Samaritans stepped up after they heard that his tree had been trashed and stolen. Strangers then started dropping off lights and gifts. Philly, the homeless man, also said he was given 9 new Christmas trees.
Wow.
Philly said, Christmas is about helping others, so I'm giving these trees to other homeless people so they can also celebrate Christmas. How cool is that? What are you laughing about?
I just don't know what to say to this story.
Well, here's my thing. Who would do that? Who's got nothing better to do than say, hey.
Where's he going to plug in the lights?
I don't know. Maybe he's by an outlet. I don't know. All I know is if you've got nothing better to do than go under an overpass and go to some guy's little tent, that this is all he has in the world, and trash his Christmas tree, you really need to get some hobbies. That's what I'm saying. And you, just whatever you are thinking, don't say it. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day, and I'm going to completely figure out what she's up to over here. It's on the way. Have you gotten into the eggnog this early? Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
The scoop of the day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. A British tabby cat named Ted was mailed a package. Well, he couldn't get it because his owners went to the post office, but they couldn't produce ID for tabby cat Ted. Brittany Mark Kirk was unable to pick up what she said was a cat advent calendar sent from her mother. Here's an idea, Mom. Don't send it to a cat in the future. Send it to your daughter. The cat doesn't have ID, so the thing is...
maybe they bring the cat in with his little cat collar.
Yeah, here he is. See this? Says Ted. There you go. Can I have my package now? This is really weird. All right, residents in the Boston area can employ the help of a living elf on a shelf to watch over their homes. A guy posted a listing
so creepy
on Craigslist offering to attend holiday parties dressed as an elf on the shelf and stare emptily at your guests for $100 an hour. I would do that too, but I couldn't do it because I couldn't keep a straight face. So he'll come dressed as an elf on a shelf and stare at people for $100 an hour.
We've already got relatives that do that for free.
I know some people that could do that. Just dress you like an elf on a shelf. Stare at me emptily. Planning on giving somebody a gift card for Christmas? Consumer advocate groups say millions of dollars are wasted every year on gift cards. Every year they're not used, they expire, and that money just goes to waste. Many people get at least 3 gift cards that they don't cash in before the time runs out. So if you're going to
I always use my gift cards.
I do too. I have one in my wallet right now that I got. It wasn't a gift card. I actually had to return something, and they didn't give me money. They gave me a store credit. I don't know if that is like counting down how much is on it, but I need to start using it because I keep thinking, why haven't I used that? I got to go use it. Texas company has given out some really cool employee bonuses. $100,000 bonuses.
Whoa.
Yeah, 6-digit gifts to 1,400 workers at the Hillcorp Energy Company. On a side note, your electric bills are probably going to go up in Texas. I mean, $100,000 to 1,400 employees? That's awesome for the people that are getting the bonuses. All right, sheriff's deputies in Georgia, they're pulling people over and issuing them with $100 bills instead of tickets. They're giving them $100. An anonymous donor gave $5,400 to launch this goodwill drive. Deputies are passing out the bills to motorists. They're stopping for minor traffic violations in a semi-rural area about 60 miles south of Atlanta. The idea has generated such enthusiasm that another donor pledged another $5,000 to keep it going. And this is something that's catching on around the country. There are other officers that are doing this too. So next time you get pulled over, smile. They might just be coming up to give you $100. Either that or if you were speeding, they might be coming up to give you a ticket. So just be careful out there. Hey, Christmas trees have been popular as far back as the 16th century in Germany. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, the very first place where they had Christmas trees was Germany. And then they came to the United States when a German settled in Pennsylvania and started that tradition here. And did you know that Christmas trees with full branches have to be shaped that way? You're not going to find them in nature. So if you see a full branches where they're like that, cultured Christmas trees are what they're called, and somebody has to actually go in and pull the branches apart, and it's this is an excruciating process because they get poked by the needles. So there you go. And if you get a tree that is sparsely populated with branches, the industry calls those trees what, Heidi?
I honestly have no idea.
Charlie Brown trees, of course. That's what they're called. That's the official name for a tree that is not very good. It is a Charlie Brown tree. And I remember growing up, we had kind of a Charlie Brown tree at our house. It was a fake tree. It just wasn't a good one. I see pictures from when I was a kid. And you see this little ratty thing that we had tinsel and lights on. I'm like, wow, why did we even put that thing up every year? It's like a stick with some green stuff hanging on it. So anyway, today is the day celebrating Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, like I said, have a great Friday. But for those of you who do celebrate, Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on Christmas Day. And I've got a guest on the line that this has got to almost be like a Christmas present that he got. For those of you who watch the program Shark Tank, I love the show. People tune in and watch the show, and I'm always rooting for people to get a deal. Well, we've got Mike Doyle joining us right now. Mike has a company called Rent Like a Champion. And Mike, you got a nice little Christmas gift early, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we were fortunate enough to not only go on the show, but get 2 great partners out of the deal. So it's been definitely a great fall for sure.
Now, the partners that you got were who once again?
So we got an investment from Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and then Chris Sacca. He was a guest shark on the episode when we aired, so he's not always on the show, but he's a big-time Silicon Valley venture capitalist. So, having Mark kind of covering the sports world and then Chris with the technology world, it really couldn't have worked out any better for us.
And the thing that's cool, we got another little Christmas gift for everybody here. If you're listening right now and you're going, I didn't really get a chance to see that. Good news, it's going to be on again this weekend, isn't it?
That's right. Yes, Sunday the 27th, we are re-airing on ABC. And it's kind of funny, our team, we originally aired on October 30th, and it's just been kind of a whirlwind since we aired in terms of emails and phone calls and all sorts of things coming in. So the dust had finally started to settle, and then we got a call about a week ago from the producers saying they were going to re-air us. So we kind of had to gear everything back up again and get ready to go. But we're extremely excited, just to get that kind of exposure exposure once again.
Well, we're going to make sure we let folks, we're going to remind them before we're done that they can tune in again. But right now, let's talk about your company, because that's really the main thing here. Rent Like a Champion. This is such a neat idea. Now, how long have you guys been doing this?
We've been doing this in South Bend, Indiana, actually since 2006. So we've had a bit of a track record there. It was really only the past 3 years that we started expanding the company nationally and trying to taking it to other college towns around the nation.
And let's explain to people, if they haven't seen this episode, I apologize, I get ahead of myself because I watched you on the program. You guys did a great job. I understand what it is. Let's explain what this is. What is Rent Like a Champion? What do you guys even do?
Absolutely. So we are an online vacation rental platform that caters to college football fans. So, let's say that you're a Notre Dame football fan. On average, there's about 80,000 people who are descending on South Bend during football game weekends, and there's hotel rooms in South Bend for about a quarter of those people. So there's obviously this huge gap in supply and demand. What we do is we get people who live near campus, so it's professors, graduate students, other people who work at the university, to list their home on our website, and then we turn around and we market those homes to fans who are coming in for game weekend. So again, you're going to Notre Dame, you want to see a game there, you can rent a home across the street from campus. You get to skip the hassle of game day traffic. You don't have to worry about parking. You can walk over to the game right before kickoff. Really just makes for an overall better weekend experience, especially if you're going to the game with friends and family. The alternative is splitting the group up into 3 or 4 hotel rooms. We give you the option to all stay together under one roof and, oftentimes be just a hop, skip, and a jump away from campus.
Well, I think it's a really neat idea, and kudos to you guys for coming up with this concept. And like you were saying, you've been doing it since 2006, so clearly there's a market or you wouldn't have lasted this long. And congratulations on getting the partners that you got when you went on the program Shark Tank. That's really cool. What kind of things are you looking forward to? We've got a new year starting here in about a week. What kind of things are you guys looking forward to in 2016?
Yeah, it's definitely an exciting time, and it's one of those things where we're trying to prioritize what we want to go after first. For us, first and foremost, college towns and college football has really gotten us to this point, so we want to stay true to that. We're active right now in about 23 college towns around the country, and there's another 20 or so towns where we think this model makes a ton of sense, where there's big-time football programs in smaller towns that we haven't even touched yet. So that's kind of the low-hanging fruit, I guess, is getting into those remaining 20 towns as quickly as possible. And then in addition to that, we're starting to look into how do we expand our niche a little bit. Again, we don't want to take our eye off the ball and forget about what got us here, which is college football and college towns. But, we know that there's a lot of applications for kind of our product and our business outside of just college football. So things like, anytime there's huge events that happen in small towns, that's an opportunity for us to kind of, step in and help people enjoy the experience. So things like NASCAR races, PGA events. We've started talking to organizers of youth sports tournaments who have big groups coming in for weekend events. So we're starting to kind of explore those other opportunities as well. So it's definitely an exciting time for us right now.
This is a really cool concept. Again, visiting with Mike Doyle from the company Rent Like a Champion, and your website is really simple, rentlikeachampion.com. And I think it's a really cool way for people to have a great experience. And I can tell you, I've been involved in things where, you're going to a big event and you're going the same time 50,000 other people are going, and there are no hotel rooms. You got to drive a half hour, an hour, 2 hours in order to even stay anywhere nearby. So I don't think the hotels are going to dislike this because they're going, hey, we can't handle all these people anyway. So it just is a really neat niche. And when I saw the episode, I thought, what a great idea. And I shot an email over to Mike, and he replied back and said, I'd love to chat. I didn't know it was going to be on Christmas Day, but thank you again for chatting with me, because what a cool concept. And I found out while I was visiting with Mike that the program is going to be airing again this weekend. Now, what time is it going to air? It's on ABC Network, but do you know what time that'll be on?
Unfortunately, we haven't been told yet the exact time. But again, I know it's going to be on ABC on Sunday the 27th. We'd love to have people tune in and learn a little bit more about us.
Well, thank you again for taking the time to chat with me. Merry Christmas to you, and again, congratulations on all the success. And I think you guys have a pretty bright 2016 ahead of you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me. Merry Christmas to you as well. And I enjoyed it. Thanks again.
Again, Mike Doyle. The company is called Rent Like a Champion. And again, I had a chance to see them on the episode of Shark Tank. I love the show. Absolutely love the show. And reached out and said, hey, I'd like to chat with people about this. I'd never heard of this before. It's such a cool concept. If you'd like to know more, I'm going to give you that website once again. And be sure to check it out on ABC this weekend if you get a chance to watch the show. But you can also go right to their website, rentlikeachampion.com. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on Christmas Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Did you know that Christmas trees are edible?
No.
Yeah, many parts of pines and spruce and firs can actually be eaten. The needles are a good source of vitamin C. Pine nuts and pine cones are also a good source of nutrition. I don't really think that would taste very good.
It wouldn't feel very good coming back
Yeah,
up.
like, ooh, what's wrong? I ate a pine tree. Yikes, bad idea. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
But you wouldn't need air freshener.
There you go. Got that good thing going. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Did you know that Christmas was randomly placed on December 25th? But it wasn't so random. This is not the actual day that Jesus was born. But the reason they chose this day as the day to celebrate, Christmas used to move around all over the place. The choice for December 25th was made by Pope Julius I in the 4th century because this was the day of winter solstice, or the return of the sun. The intent was to replace this pagan celebration with a Christian celebration. So if you're somebody that doesn't believe in Christ and you're saying,
now it's the return of the sun spelled S-O-N.
hey, there you go. But if you're somebody
that would
that,
be Easter.
if you were one to say, hey, I don't celebrate Christmas, you can still celebrate and just say, hey, I'm just celebrating winter solstice. So then everybody's covered. So Merry Christmas to you guys and happy winter solstice to you guys. All right, coming up, we have the top 10 most hated Christmas gifts. That is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
All right, this is kind of the who's who list of things I've bought you over the last couple of years that we've been married. So this is kind of sad. Just in time for your last-minute gifts. If you've got somebody you need to buy for before you go see them today, here's a poll of the world's top most hated Christmas gifts. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here's number 10, kitchen equipment. Number 9, executive stress toys, like the things you squeeze or the little deals you hit and they go back and forth and click, click, click.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 8, power tools. I disagree. I'd love to get some power tools. Number 7, chocolates. These are the top 10 worst gifts.
Okay.
I've purchased you chocolates before. Number 6, slippers.
Okay.
Number 5, Christmas sweaters. I know I bought you one of those.
Yeah.
These are the worst
I don't mind.
gifts. I'm liking most of this. Number 5, packaged toiletries. I could see that. Number 3 on the list of the worst Christmas gifts ever, socks. What did I get last year? A giant bin of socks.
But you
Remember
love
that?
socks.
I love them. They're really cool. You got me a lot of cool socks.
I mean, I didn't get just like white
you
socks.
go.
I got you awesome socks.
Merry Christmas. Have some
That's
socks. No, I can hardly ever find white socks in my drawer anymore.
No, I
have
don't.
like one pair.
Buy white socks
I know.
anymore.
So, where were we at? Number 3 on the list of the top 10 most hated Christmas gifts. Number 2 is handkerchiefs. I've never bought you a handkerchief.
I've never bought anybody a handkerchief.
Apparently, a lot of people get them because it's number 2 on the list. And the number 1 most hated Christmas gift of all time, what do you think it is, Heidi?
I don't know.
Cheap perfume.
Oh.
I think I've bought you that before. I'm like, I don't know if this is the kind that you like, but I got this gallon jug for only $5, so it's going to last like
I don't think you've ever bought me
year.
perfume before.
No, I don't know what to get you. I tried. I went in one time and sniffed at some perfumes, but I got such a headache. I was like, I apparently am not a perfume guy. So you're going to have to write down what kind you like, and then I can maybe do that. Because, I still haven't gotten you a gift. I got the rest of the day
my
today.
gosh.
I'm just teasing. I'm like, you're taken care of. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Christmas Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Hey, a bit ago we talked about the worst Christmas gifts ever. If you get a bad gift, here are things you're supposed to say. You're supposed to say, wow, I really don't deserve this. And you can mean that. You're supposed to say, think, this year I vowed to give all my gifts to charity, so sadly I'm not even going to get to keep this one. You can also say, sadly, tomorrow I enter the federal witness protection program, so I can't take this with me. Another one, I love it, but I fear the jealousy it will inspire. Another thing you can say if you got a gift you don't really like, well, boy, if the dog buries this one, I'll be furious. How about, gosh, I hope this never catches fire. Is the fire season through? There's a lot of fires this time of year, right? Like you're going to burn it, apparently. Next, perfect for wearing around the basement. Next, if you get a gift you don't like, boy, I really wish that I hadn't shot up 4 sizes this year. This might have fit. Another thing you're supposed to say if you got a bad gift, well. So that's one you could say. And then the last one is, hey, now there's a gift. These are all things you could say if you got a bad Christmas gift. So you're not a fan of those, Heidi?
Your lists, I don't know where you come up with these things.
These I've culled the internet. I've scoured the internet for the best of the best of the best for today.
That's fantastic.
Coming up, we're going to talk about 2 nativity scenes, Heidi.
Okay.
First one we're going to talk about is the first ever nativity scene. And it's not the day that you're thinking of. We're talking about not the actual scene, back when it happened. We're going to talk about the first time anyone ever said, hey, let's recreate that. And then we're also going to talk about one that was just recently done at a high school and the ridiculousness that's going on in the world. That's all on the way right here on the John and Heidi Show on this Christmas special.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
Have you ever thought about what a nativity scene is, or like who came up with the idea for a nativity scene? Because you see them all over the place.
Yeah.
The tradition started a long time ago. 1223 was the year. St. Francis of Assisi enjoyed a pageantry and glorious Christmas, and he just loved the season. He said, let's recreate the birth. Let's get live actors, life-size scenery. So the first ever nativity scene was a live nativity scene. And it was in 1223, and it was in Barcelona, Spain, I believe is where that was. I'm looking here to see. I'm reading through. It's a huge story. Anyway, St. Francis. No, it was in Italy. I'm sorry. Greco-Italy. Greco-Italy was the first one. Then there were others in Barcelona and Munich, and it caught on after that. Now let's talk about today, because you get back to 1223. In northern Indiana, a high school had to use mannequins because a federal judge said you cannot have a live nativity scene at your school anymore.
Why?
So Freedom from Religion Foundation and the American Civil Liberties Union sued the district on behalf of Concord High School students, a student and his father, arguing that a nativity scene conveys an endorsement of religion.
So what, mannequins in a nativity scene
Apparently.
does not?
School officials said the injunction only applied to a live nativity scene, so they complied with the judge's orders and said, hey, we won't use students then, we're going to use mannequins. So the ridiculousness. Now, you guys got to understand, the separation of church and state is not that they're not endorsing a religion by doing this, first of all. And the separation of church and state, when you go back to that, is that our government will not start a religion. It was protecting religions from the government, not the other way around. And it's just gotten so out of hand. Anyway, on this of all days, I figured I'd at least get off. Usually I don't talk about this stuff, but I'm going to get off on a little tangent today. Because of all the days of the year that you could say Merry Christmas, I think this is one you could do that. So Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And thank you to the people in that high school that actually stood up for it. Because most of them would have just said, well, we just won't do it.
Yeah.
They said, we're going to do it.
I don't want to get in trouble.
We'll put mannequins in there then.
Yeah,
Coming
good
up,
for them.
We've got some good news, and my blood pressure will go down in a bit on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
When you were a kid on Christmas morning, did you ever get an item that was really hard to put together, and your dad spent most of the day trying to get the darn thing put together?
I didn't, but my brother would once in a while.
I remember some of the things that we would get as a kid, and we'd spend hours putting them together. Well, I have some tips for Dad. Before you tackle the assembly, some assembly required items for the day, this is from Men's Health Magazine. So I don't read the magazine, but this was sent to me. They said that it'd be kind of fun to talk about. So number one tip is always read the directions before you start. It says here men typically find themselves on like step 63 before they realize, oh, wait a minute, this thing is supposed to go...
I have to go clear back to step 2.
What is this thing for? I was supposed to use that back then? Disassembling is guaranteed to take the wind out of your sails. So
and to ruin Christmas Day.
Yeah. Number 3 tip on the list here is have a Phillips head screwdriver, have a hammer, have some pliers. No improvising using a kitchen knife or a corkscrew or something like that. Have the actual tools you need.
Right.
Because it makes the job a lot easier. Next on the list, spread a white sheet on the floor before you start pulling parts out. Otherwise, you're going to lose parts because they're going to fall in between little pieces of the, like screws will fall in between the rug. Just whatever you do, make sure you spread it out somewhere where you're not going to lose things. Next, don't tighten any screws or nuts until you're completely done. A little wiggle room can help make the whole thing come together. And then the last thing is beware of warning signs like banging a screw with your heel or, turning a bolt with your teeth, anything like that you're doing. It could be maybe you're at the point where you need to
maybe you need to take a break and come
sit
back
down
to this
and relax,
later.
put the Allen key away, go have some eggnog. So when you get to a point where you're breaking things because it's not working, take a break and then come back and you'll feel a whole lot better. Again, some tips from the folks at Men's Health Magazine. Coming up, we've got some good news for you. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
We always try to wrap this program up with something positive, and I thought this was something that, first of all, almost everybody is aware of, and it is kind of a cool little story, and I'd never noticed this before. Holiday season is synonymous with primetime TV Christmas specials. One of the most popular of all time is the Charlie Brown Christmas special. Do you know that this year celebrates the 50th time?
I did know that.
That's been on the air every single year for the last 50 years. But just recently, somebody noticed something that nobody had really pointed out before. A fact that has been overlooked for 50 years. The story of the Peanuts. It's Lucy and Snoopy and Sally. And everybody during this is trying to get Linus to give up his blanket. He's got that security blanket. It's always been something that he's used. Everybody knows him, knows that he always has that. But here's the interesting thing is he never gave it up. He refused to give up the blanket until this climactic scene when Linus shares what Christmas is really all about. And then he utters the words, "Fear not," and he takes his security blanket and drops it down, and he actually puts it around the base of the Christmas tree. And there was a blogger who watched this and said, I think Charles Schulz was trying to say that it's such a simple and brilliant thing that the birth of Jesus separates us from our fears. So once he talked about that, that's when he finally said, you know what? Why do I need this blanket? I'm going to put it around the tree. So there you go. That's at least one person's perspective on that. I had never noticed that before.
I think it makes perfect sense. It's brilliant. I had heard that at church last week, so I thought that was
well, there was a
brilliant.
blogger that agreed, so there you go. I think it's really kind of a neat thing. And we've got, think of all the security blankets that we have in life. And if you've got a security blanket that maybe today's the day to put it down. And here's one of the things I want to make sure that we mention, because we're wrapping up, we're almost done here, as far as some good news. If you know somebody who might be sitting home alone today, pick up the phone and call them, at least a phone call. And if you can, go see them. What a gift that could be. Your presence could be all the presents they need
That's
today.
right.
So thank you so much for joining us. This beautiful woman that sits here with me every day, I get the joy of not just working with her, but I live with her as well. So she lives with me. Sorry about that, Heidi. But we're husband and wife, and we're together all the time. So thank you for being a part of our Christmas today. So it's our little family Christmas here. Merry Christmas to you from the John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you again next week. Have a wonderful Christmas. And again, for those of you that don't celebrate Christmas, have a great Friday. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break, only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Probably too late to get a gift subscription sent by Christmas, I suppose.
Probably, yeah.
But it is a gift that keeps on giving all year long. If you want to give yourself a nice gift, sign up for razors, and you won't ever have to worry about stubble ever again, because they'll send out fresh razors every month for as little as $3 a month, or you can do the really good ones for as little as $9 a month, delivered right to your door. The only thing they won't do is shave you. I mean, check it out. DollarShaveClub.com/radio. You ever think maybe you've gone to a holiday party and you really goofed something up? Man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Ooh, wow, I should have never said that.
Right.
This is the time of year people make some really bad decisions. Usually alcohol is involved, I've noticed. So I have a list here of some things. I'm trying to scroll to it. If you're throwing a holiday party, some advice to make the party easier for you and more entertaining for your guests. Okay, so this is a little different than what I was thinking. I'll give you some tips on my own after that. So when it's holiday time, if you're hosting, spend a little time in the kitchen, as little time in the kitchen as possible during the party. They're saying get everything ready ahead of time and then be out with people. So you don't want to have to be in the kitchen the whole time. Actually enjoy it. Next, don't avoid serving pre-cooked food. It says, I always go down to a professional bakery and pick up dessert. I get my salads from a deli. I get my appetizers from another place. They say, what does it say? In the last party, I even had the RSVP card indicate on it original or extra crispy chicken. So she was literally saying, what do you want? I'm going to order this or this. What do you want for food? So don't be afraid to do that if you're hosting a party. And then finally, for maximum enjoyment for everybody, mix and match for your friends. Not everybody's the same. And maybe you divide up friends for, if you have a bunch of friends who are into one thing, do one party for them and then do a different party for these guys.
That's ridiculous.
No, because they're saying if there's a group of friends that like wrestling, for example, and you want to have a Christmas party where you're watching wrestling, that's not something everybody's going to enjoy. But
so then all those other people can go in a different room. This is
here's
ridiculous.
What they're saying. Make sure you let people know in advance. So if you're saying, hey, we're going to have this pay-per-view wrestling going on, but we're also in this other room going to be playing bingo or whatever it is, make sure people know that.
That is the lamest Christmas party I have ever heard of in my life.
I made up the bingo thing. I don't know.
Bingo and wrestling. Take your pick.
Yeah, it would be kind of a fun party, wouldn't it? Oh, Heidi, you make me laugh. I'm thinking on my feet here, and this ain't working so hot. Hey, I do have some fun stuff for you. Some fun facts for you. The original title of the poem, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Do you know what it was? Before it was "'Twas the Night Before Christmas."
No idea.
It was originally called "A Visit with St. Nicholas."
Oh, I guess I did know that.
Clement Clark Moore, 1822. Mel Gibson's "The Lethal Weapon." What song is in the opening credits of the movie?
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. Would never think of this, but it's "Jingle Bell Rock."
Oh.
I had no clue. Did you know that every snowflake has 6 sides? Every snowflake. I did not know that. Did you know that the dog on the Grinch That Stole Christmas has a name? Do you know what his name is?
Yes, but I can't think of it.
Max.
There you go.
Yeah, Max. Did you know that myrrh is a perfume? Frankincense, gold, and myrrh.
I thought myrrh was an ointment.
Well,
Maybe
it is
frankincense.
Here's what it is. Myrrh is a perfume made from a gum resin from a tree in eastern Africa, India, and Arabia. It was also used as a preservative. Frankincense is also made from tree resin. So there were 2 different gifts from the wise men that were tree resin. There was frankincense, and there was myrrh, and then the other guy had gold. And I'll tell you, there was, what is the name of that show?
It was Family Guy.
Family Guy. There was a episode of that. I just saw this part shared on Facebook, and I thought it was so funny. They said they were the 3 wise men walking in. And they're like,
love that
"What do you
clip.
have?" He's like, "I've got frankincense." "What do you have?" He's like, "I have myrrh." "What'd you bring?" He said, "I brought gold." He's like, "Wait, I thought we had a $5 limit. How about we put them all together and just say from the 3 wise men?" And they're like, "No,
The guy with the gold is like, no.
That was hilarious. Frankincense, gold, and myrrh. So there you go. Those are some fun little tidbits of information for you. And then before we wrap things up, I got a couple others here really quickly. During the ancient 12 days of Christmas celebration, there was a log that was burned, and it was called a Yule log. And that's where, have you ever heard of a Yule log? Mm-hmm. That's what it was. The Yule log would be kept to kindle the fire for the following winter to ensure good luck carried on from year to year. So the tradition was handed down for generations and generations. And during Christmas season, Visa cards are used on average of how many times in the United States?
I have no idea.
5,340 times. And that's
I
just yours.
would have thought it was more than that. That seems low.
That's every minute.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that seems really low.
Yeah, that does seem low. 5,340 times every minute in the United States.
Yeah,
that sounds about right. And then during the Christmas and Hanukkah season, more than 1.7 billion candy canes are made. So 1.7 billion candy canes. And then the last little nugget of knowledge for you on this Christmas day. Electric Christmas tree lights were first used in 1895. The first idea for Christmas lights came from a guy by the name of Ralph E. Morris And he did it because he had a lot of friends that burned their homes down with Christmas
with
candles.
Yeah, I suppose.
He's like, we got these newfangled electric lights. Maybe we should try to throw those on the tree. What do you think, huh? There you go. Fun little tips for you from your friends here at the John and Heidi Show. And a bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.